U luistert naar de DCDW-podcast gepresenteerd door Paul de Vries. Elke week praat Paul met interessante gasten over actuele online automotive onderwerpen. De DCDW-podcast wordt mede mogelijk gemaakt door nieuweautokopen.nl, Marktplaats, Marble, Autodata Nederland, You Name It en Bovee.
Michael Cirillo is de host van de Dealer Playbook, de best beluisterde podcast in de automotive ter wereld. Met zijn podcast bereikt Michael autoprofessionals over de hele wereld. Michael, een Italiaanse Canadees, is ook eigenaar en CEO van zijn eigen bedrijf flexdealer.com. Flexdealer houdt zich bezig met websites maken en is een fullservice marketingbureau 100% binnen de automotive. Michael, welcome to the Digital Car Dealer Workshop podcast. How are you, my friend?
My man, what's going on? I am so excited to be here. And you know what? Anytime I can see your handsome face.
Of course.
I mean, that's what I'm really excited about. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you, Michael. I'm fine. The podcast is doing very well. And thanks to you, of course, because you were my inspiration and my mentor to do my first one. It was very exciting and very nervous, but now we are 65 and running, so every week. So
good for you.
It's very good. So
and you know what? And I'm going to tell you, and I'm not saying this to flatter you.
No.
I actually listened to your podcast. I don't understand. I mean, unless you have, like you had Dave Page on recently, I could understand that one. Yeah. But it's exciting for me. You say I'm the memento, and I look at you and I say, oh man, I got to catch up to Paul. No,
the only thing you have to catch up is the commercials.
There you go. Good, man. No, I love your show, and I watch you on LinkedIn, and I watch all your stuff. You've got a lot going on, and I love it, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. How is the podcast now doing? Do you have a lot of visitors from other countries than America and Canada?
Yeah, it's funny. When we first started the show, I mean, United States was kind of our big demographic, our big market. And then I think Canadians slowly realized, wait a second, this guy's in Canada.
Yeah.
So they started listening. And now what we see is our top 5 countries that we have really good listeners in would be US, Canada, China, Australia, Denmark, Holland. Those are kind of our top areas. The UK, we're seeing some increases in the UK, but I think in part to you, that's why I have listeners in Holland.
Yeah, actually, too less, I think, because when I'm listening to your podcast, is really value. You have a guest like Gary Vaynerchuk, awesome guests. The hardest find to catch, and we can learn so much about that kind of topics. We will never heard of him otherwise. So it's very exciting for us to listen to your podcast, if it is not in the Netflix style. I don't like it.
And I took your advice. You notice season 8 is not Netflix style. It's one a week.
No, I thought I had to listen to all the episodes at once. And when an episode was not that exciting for me by the topic, then you thought to the other one. And that's a shame, right?
Hey, well, but you know what? It was because of you. And you know what? That's the interesting thing about marketing. Yeah. Marketing is one big experiment. And I think a lot of people are afraid to experiment because they think, oh man, what are people going to say? Or will they have negative feedback? Or will my customers like it? And the answer, my answer to all of that is, who cares? Who cares? Because I'm a firm believer that you create the content and your content will find an audience. And especially, I mean, if you look at car dealers, right? If a car dealer is creating content that their audience enjoys, I believe that is the single best way to create a fail-proof business. It's business 101. Give people what they want. You're going to fail.
Yeah.
Be okay with the fail. That is marketing. Marketing is about failing as quickly as you can to find out what works. And so for you, and thanks to you, I mean, you were one of the first ones to speak up and say, whoa, you did all of season 7. All of the episodes came out on the same day.
Yeah.
We got lost. We didn't know. And I said, great. Thanks for the feedback. And we go back to what we know works.
Yeah. And it works, right?
And it works. Yeah, it works.
Now 8 and season 8?
Season 8 right now. So new episode coming out today. In fact, usually try and aim for every Wednesday, but it's technology and it's not perfect. So sometimes you have to improvise.
Okay. And what?
But, it's been fun.
What are the topics in general?
This is an interesting season because when we first started the show, everything was really sales based. And I think because we're a sales retail industry, we tend to gravitate to sales topics really quickly. But what I found in season 8 and just in general, and you tell me, I don't know if you're seeing this where you are, but we're starting to see a shift where people are going, okay, we can talk about sales, but it's really kind of this up and down. How do we solve real problems that our business is facing? And so season 8, what we've noticed is this shift in not just sales, but can we talk about how to create a business that's going to last a long time? The next time the market crashes, how can we make it so we're not the next dealership that closes our doors? So season 8 topics really revolve around leadership. And what leaders can do to empower their team members, their employees. Yeah. And I know we ran into that unique challenge when I was visiting you in when was that? A couple years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago. And I understand, each country is going to have its own unique challenges, especially say somewhere where your employees get a lot already. Yeah. It's difficult to say, well, how can I give them any more than they're getting? Yeah. How do I get more? And I don't think it's necessarily that case of how do I give them more so how do I get them to buy in so that they want to be there, so that they think like an entrepreneur, like their own business owner, so that, and how do I help them understand that when they do a good job, that's the only way. There's a lot of people that think, well, I don't want to work and make my boss rich.
No.
But I don't see it that way. I see it as the only way your boss has income is if you do a good job. You are equally as responsible for your leader's income as your leader is for your income. And so I'm seeing a lot of topics, a lot of people really focused on that. Something surprising that has come out of season 8. I was speaking at a conference about a month ago in Las Vegas, and they asked me a similar question. What are you noticing on the Dealer Playbook? What are your guests talking about? What I found is over 60% of all guests on the show, yourself included, talked specifically about the importance of building relationships of trust.
Yeah.
Because, and you tell me, I think, what else is there? If you don't have a relationship with your team members, if you don't have key relationships in your community, if you don't have relationships with your customers, why are you in business?
For nothing then.
For nothing.
No, because, and we have it here at the same, if the people don't trust my opinion, I have no business whatsoever.
Yeah.
It is not existing. So in the start at the top, at the leadership level, you have to be trustworthy and always talking about the real issue. Right. Also, when it can hurt your business. When I'm the spokesperson of eBay, I have to write my truth. If it is someone hurting the business, it can be, but I have to be trusted by the people who trusted my opinion about, for example, the online automotive space.
That's right. And especially, I think I still find this funny. Thinking about the fact that tax is so high
Yeah.
In Holland, where here where we talk about the MSRP plus tax.
Yeah.
And there it should be tax plus MSRP.
For some cars, yes. For some cars,
right?
No, but it is what it is. But I was talking in Kentucky with some Americans, and they told me what they are paying for their health insurance. That's crazy numbers in comparison with here. So if you pay it with the car or with the health insurance whatsoever, you have to pay somewhere.
It averages out. And the reality of it is it all comes back down to the one thing, which is if you don't have a relationship of trust, you've got nothing. In fact, your entire business is about building relationships of trust. So season 8 of the Dealer Playbook is really emphasizing that fact. Mm-hmm. You have nothing if you don't have relationships of trust with your employees, your community, your customers, etc. And that, as it turns out, is the single most valued thing that your customers want from you.
Trust. If they don't trust you, it doesn't matter. And right now, especially in North America, the reason, we talk about this, the reason customers shop here and then they'll hop in here and the average, they'll visit 1.5 dealerships, and we come up with all of these numbers. Mm-hmm. The reason is because dealerships are a commodity. They're like gasoline. Yeah. I'm not loyal to one gas station, petrol station. I go to whatever one's closest to where I am. Yeah.
But imagine what would happen if I knew the owner of the petrol station and he knew who I was and he dropped into my office and brought me a gift and he said, "Hey man, I really appreciate you and I appreciate your business. You know what? We're doing a cool thing for Christmas. Come on down." I would go out of my way to buy petrol from that petrol station.
Yeah. It makes all the difference, right?
And it's the same thing with dealerships. Why? Where I live in a valley.
Yeah.
There's a Toyota dealership where I live. Mm-hmm. 45 minutes in the next town, there's another Toyota dealership. And 45 minutes this way, there's another Toyota dealership. And it's weird to me that this day and age, we still have people who look at this, they're from here, they look at this Toyota dealership, and then they still go look at that one and that. They're selling the same cars for the same price, for the same incentives and rebates. But they're looking for somebody they can trust.
Yeah. Or that's what somebody they liked as well.
Somebody they like. So both like and trust. Yeah, totally.
But actually, it's very funny when you are saying 45 minutes for the next town there, 45 to the next town there, and we are in the sea and in Germany when it happened here.
You lucky dog. You lucky. I drive 45 minutes and I see the same old crap. You get to you get to be somewhere cool.
Yeah. Hey, and about the Dealer Playbook, how many episodes are going to be aired in 2018? You already know? About 40, about 30?
No, we aim for 22 to 24 episodes a season, and we'll do 3 seasons, and we'll do 3 seasons in 2018.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so probably another 65 to 70 episodes.
Autodata Nederland. Beter taxeren, inkopen en verkopen? Dat krijg je voor elkaar met Autodata. Eigentijdse applicaties voor automotive professionals. Kijk voor meer info op www.autodata.nl. LEF, het lead management systeem van You Name It, waarbij al uw leads in één systeem kunnen worden opgevolgd, helpt u op weg van lead naar deal. LEF is vernieuwend, verrassend en compleet. Door haar koppelingen met vele automotive leadbronnen en het eenvoudige management dashboard heeft u real-time inzicht in uw volledige leadproces. Uw leadproces volledig onder controle? Kijk dan op datislefhebben.nl. Marble Digital Marketing Solutions is het online marketingbureau voor de autobranche. Wij bouwen data-driven websites op een platform dat volledig is geoptimaliseerd voor gebruik binnen de autobranche. Door vele koppelingen zijn wij in staat om een naadloze integratie van online naar offline te realiseren voor u en uw klanten. Een hogere conversie via uw eigen website, voorzien van geavanceerde techniek en functionaliteiten, tegen een vaste fee per maand zonder hoge eenmalige investeringen? Dan bent u bij Marble aan het juiste adres. www.marble.nl. Wij helpen bedrijven in de mobiliteitsbranche bij al hun verzekeringen, financieringen en rechtshulp. Onze missie? Onze klanten nog succesvoller laten ondernemen. Als onderdeel van BOVAG bestaan wij voor en door de mobiliteitsbranche. Anders dan andere partijen vinden wij het dan ook belangrijk om de branche sterk te houden. Bové mij. Samen vooruit.
Hey Michael, and about you were our guest at the eBay offices 2 years ago. Yeah. You did a big presentation in Denmark with the eBay office. What is eBay like in Canada?
eBay, well, there's a couple of parts to it. I mean, eBay as a company, as we know the brand eBay, it's where you go and buy. It's kind of like Amazon. Mm-hmm. But then there's the autos division, which is Kijiji. And it is clear that eBay is investing heavily in automotive, because when Kijiji first started, you had Auto Trader in Canada.
Yeah.
And Auto Trader still exists in Canada, but buying and selling or looking for vehicles online has shifted quite dramatically in the last few years because eBay has invested so heavily in Kijiji. Mm-hmm. And so what we see even from our own clients is that it is a standard that everyone needs to have a feed on an inventory listing on Kijiji. And so, and that's become, I think, the kind of standard. Yeah, we need to be on Kijiji. So, eBay, very, very prominent Eastern Canada. Mm-hmm. Very prominent in Alberta, and they're making big headway here in British Columbia, where I am. Yeah.
Hey, and about your own company, Michael, Flex Dealer. Mm-hmm. What are you doing there?
Well, we started as a website company, but as I have been very transparent about it, and this might start a fight somewhere with someone, but I don't believe just having a website is enough.
No.
I believe that a website is like a hammer.
No, but if you stop right there about the hammer part, I believe now in the 2018 world where we are going to live, that the website platform or the website of the dealer is not that central hub anymore. It used to be. Because people are spending hours on Facebook, hours on Instagram, and the Google and the remote control to the website is not that important anymore because they are not going to a website of a dealer when they see a story.
Well, especially as, like you said, with Facebook Marketplace, you can see Facebook is investing very, very heavily in its marketplace.
Yeah.
So as it pertains to the commerce of looking for a vehicle, submitting a lead. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. We're seeing a shift away from websites.
Yeah.
I think websites, the big role that websites will still play is not necessarily a hub for inventory, but a hub for the more information content, the comparison information, all of the stuff that sites like cars.com and I don't know if you did this on nieuweautokopen or like things like that, but did I say that right?
Yeah.
Close? Yeah. Okay.
Close, yeah.
I tried.
Yeah.
Where those sites for years have been producing the content.
Yeah.
And the content was the way that they got traffic in to actually search for inventory. Now we're seeing a shift where I do it all right here.
Yeah. On the mobile phone.
I'm searching for inventory here. My last vehicle purchase, it was all here. I looked on Facebook Marketplace. I look on Kijiji. They all have apps. They all have better websites. But if I want more information, if I want to read a review, if I want to see if it fits my lifestyle, that's still where dealers are missing out. And I think that's the kind of information they need to be putting on their website.
More heavily than they used to be.
More heavily than they used to be. Yeah, I agree. Because, you know, and you've heard me say this before, the one thing that I believe will always remain consistent for, you know, years in the future is that in order to feel confident purchasing something, I want to know as much as I can about it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the way vehicle listings work today, I still don't get all of the information I want about it.
All the statistics information. That's
right.
Excel spreadsheet, but then nicer.
Yeah. And so
inventory feed.
Yeah. And because of that, it's flawed. It's a flawed system. Yeah. If there's a way, and so that's why I think websites are still valuable, but from a content perspective, comparison, and from, you know, Google talks about the 5 moments in the car buying journey.
Yeah.
And you know, I can send you the link so you can put it in your show notes or whatever. But you know, there's 5 moments you need to own, and they really revolve around making that customer as confident in their purchase decision as possible. But none of them talk about sitting on VDPs and scrolling through because they know, Google knows that that's not what your website's for anymore. So to have all of these different shopping tools and to pay, especially in North America, I'm not, you know, up to speed with how it is there, but websites are expensive.
Yeah.
They're so expensive here, and they don't need to be. The reason they are, though, is because the inventory providers like Chrome Data and, you know, they own the market, and it is expensive to get access to that data.
Yeah.
So right out of the gates, it's a flawed system to have inventory on a car dealer website. Then, you know, one dealer in Fayetteville, you know, Arkansas, or wherever, one small dealership in Louisville, Kentucky says, well, we're going to cancel if you don't build us a fancy widget that.
Yeah.
And so what does the supplier do? They go and build that widget, all of the overhead, all of the cost, and then they have to distribute the cost amongst all of their clients. Yeah. And so we see the cost of these websites going up and up and up, when the reality is you should have an inventory feed to Kijiji or to, you know, eBay, you know, to Marktplaats.
Yeah.
You should have a feed to those kinds of sites that are specialized in inventory. Yeah. And then your website should link. This is my opinion, obviously. Yeah. And I think then, because they supply inventory information so much better than a jack of all trades website vendor. Mm-hmm. You see, if a website vendor just focused on making a solid website platform and got out of the inventory business,
a clean one, simple, find it. Oh, you know, I'm a dad. I have 3 kids. Will you know, what did you drive again? Do you still drive the same vehicle as when I was there? An Volvo, yes.
The Volvo. Yeah. Does the Volvo, whatever the model, fit my lifestyle? I want to find that kind of information too. And I could find that easily on a website. Yeah. But when it comes to the inventory, hey, connect to our Facebook page that has our entire inventory. And then you can do cool things like use chat bots to qualify leads, or have a third party, you know, Facebook service that really does those things well. What I've realized in my experience as the CEO of Flex Dealer, and why we've kind of shifted a little bit away from just being a website vendor, is because everyone is going to tell you that they build the best websites.
Yeah.
The reality of it is they all stink. Confessions of an ex-website vendor. They all stink. You need more than just the website. You need content. You need to make sure you know who your audience is and that you actually show up for what they're searching for. Mm-hmm. But I firmly believe, here's a perfect example. You know, Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
It's right there in your Gmail. Mm-hmm. But it's okay, but it's not it's clear that Google doesn't spend a lot of time developing that.
No.
But then you have Slack.
Yeah.
all Slack does. Slack didn't say, you know what, team communication is important. Let's also develop a calendar, and let's develop email, and let's develop docs, and let's develop a search engine. No, they said, we are just going to focus on team communication.
Yeah, that's it. Focus.
That's it. And because of that, it is a far superior product to Google Hangouts. The same thing applies. If we could say, I am going to make the most solid website platform, I'm not going to focus on geo-targeting and inventory management and widgets for Google Ads and analytics dashboard. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to build a website platform that focuses on having the most solid SEO, structure, code, you name it. And that's all I'm going to do. If you want these other services, we can integrate with them, but I would suggest you use an analytics service that only focuses on analytics, an inventory service that only focuses on inventory, geo-targeting service that only, now you get the best of all of those because you're dealing with companies that are focused. And so as a company, we've veered away from just building websites and we've gotten more into the agency side of things. Actually,
I saw that, yeah.
Build the marketing. Yeah, we're like your virtual marketing department.
As marketing as a service. You mean?
Marketing as a service, that's right.
Okay. And what are you doing then more? Facebook advertising, Google advertising? What are you spending your most time now?
Mostly Facebook.
Yeah. And how is it working? Because here in Holland, we have struggles to find the best ROI on Facebook. On the server side, when you upload your database, etc., it will work. But to find in-market shoppers, that's a hard one.
Yeah. What I would suggest is if you are only concerned about low funnel advertising, so offer, get them, it's going to be very expensive and you're going to have trouble because you're competing at a higher price because that's where all dealers are trying to advertise to. They want Paul who's ready to buy a Volvo, but you're going to pay so much more to attract Paul. So my approach is, and I mentioned these 5 buying moments that you need to own.
Yeah.
Start higher up in the funnel. And the way you do it is, what's the competing model to your vehicle?
Yeah, when I say that in North America, then they are saying a Volvo is not premium. But here we're saying BMW, Audi.
Yeah, great. Okay, so if it's me, I would have content on my website that says, the headline is 5 reasons why business professionals in Amsterdam prefer, and you're going to have to translate this with 5 reasons why business professionals in Amsterdam prefer the Volvo over the BMW.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to write I'm going to have it, or I'm going to have somebody write it for me, but it's got to be good quality content. Okay. Boom. That gets published on your website.
Yeah.
Then you're going to drive a Facebook ad that says essentially the same thing. Find out why business professionals in Amsterdam prefer the Volvo over the BMW.
Yeah.
Click through, and then I'm going to target people who have an interest in both Volvo and BMW, who live in Amsterdam plus, 10 kilometers or 25 kilometers, who are business professionals, managers, all those sales professionals, real estate. I'm going to target all of them. So now what I've done is I've just created a very simple 2-step funnel.
Yeah.
Facebook ad to a relevant piece of content that gives them the answer.
Yeah.
And then that content that you published is going to have a call to action that says, see our available color options. And you have a page that only shows the in-stock inventory of that Volvo in its different colors. And then from there, they can click to view the VDP, and the VDP handles the call to action.
Yeah.
So now you have a 4-step funnel that piqued somebody's interest because everyone wants their question answered. We all become detectives. What are those 5 reasons? I need to know right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They come, you give them the reason, then you give them the color options, then you bring them to the VDP. And now in your Google Analytics, if you've set up goals properly, you can see, they came from the Facebook ad. Then they went to this page. Then they went to this page. And you can see how many people moved along. Yeah. And then you simply look at how many leads you received for that Volvo, whatever the model is, and you compare it against your attribution all the way through. And now you have a very simple indicator of whether or not your content is working.
It could be simple, but the hardest thing I see in the market that they don't want to put in the work to make the content at the first place. That's
why I'm in business.
Yeah, it is. It is. Because content marketing works in 2005, works in 2015, and works in the 2018 world as well.
Yeah. And guess what? Content marketing worked in 1895 when they came out with first. See, I don't use it anymore, but when they came out with the first razor, they published an ad of a baby's face and a picture of the razor, the shaver, that said, "So safe your baby could use it." And everyone, that's brilliant content marketing. The 1800s.
But it is. It is. But we have to be stopped by doing the lazy thing, to always looking for the easy target, the easy layup. And we have to find the hardest lead, because that is actually the most easy lead as well, because there's no competition whatsoever.
Yeah, that's right. If you meet your customer where they begin the journey, then they will be more likely to come and buy from you, because, like we talked about earlier, Paul, they trust you.
Yeah, but actually, when you are talking about the 5 moments, what I'm finding obvious for a Google standpoint is that on the 5 moments and in the customer journey as well, they ignore the fact that there are third-party websites and social media as well. And Google thinks there is only one world of Google. And when you see the Facebook journey of buying a car, they're only talking about the Facebook ecosystem.
Yeah. Well, and that's why you need to look at, you're a business owner, I'm a business owner.
Yeah.
We have to look at it now from the intelligence of a business owner and say, okay, if Google's saying this and Facebook's saying this, what's common that they say? Yeah. Now I got to look at my business and I see. Yep. You know what? I can understand that point, and that's the way I see them. But like you said, people are being too lazy.
Yeah.
You have to take the time.
Yeah.
You have to take the time. I don't know about you, but the fact that it's probably, what is it there? 2112?
Yes.
Okay. So the fact that it's 2112 and you're still here in the office, took the time, still dressed. I mean, who knows if he's wearing any pants, but what that says to me is, as a business owner, you take the time to build your business.
Yes.
What do we traditionally see with dealers? They come in for one day, then they leave for a week. They come back for another day, they leave for a week. They come back. It takes more time. If you want to we are talking about you going out of business the next time the market crashes. And by the way, I share what Gary Vee says. The market has been too good for too long now. It's been 9 or 10 years. There's a crash coming.
Yeah. No, but actually we have it here with the Volvo dealers, for example. They have so many benefits of the tax on the car, because the Volvo was very, very, very cheap in comparison with the other cars.
Right.
The car salesman at Volvo thought that it was them who sold the car. And now they have a problem, because all the benefits are gone, and now they have the problem because they are never used to working hard to learn the process, to learn how to sell, and now they have a problem.
Yeah. So, and the reality of it is this. And you tell me about your car buying process. So when you bought your Volvo, who actually sold you the car? Was it the salesman or was it you?
No, when I thought it through that I wanted to buy the Volvo, then I had only one person who can sell me that Volvo.
Well, you had one person who could facilitate the transaction.
No, I wanted to buy it from him, from nobody else.
That's right, but that's
the first thing we talk about.
What you just said is when I decided that I wanted to buy the Volvo. See, you sold yourself.
Of course, yes.
And that's what customers are doing. The one thing that, whether it's Google, Facebook, Kijiji, Marktplaats, whatever it is, the one thing that's in common is the customer is the one that's doing the searching, because at a baseline, they know that
and mostly the buying as well.
And mostly the buying.
They are doing a hard time to actually be in contact with the car salesman. Yeah,
well, that's just ridiculous, but
no, but it is. It is.
Yeah,
it is what.
But that's my point. See, when I drive an Infiniti. When I knew I wanted an Infiniti, I knew I sold myself on the Infiniti, and then I found the dealership I wanted to work with, who I trusted, that would be able to actually get me the vehicle.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing we need to understand is, because customers really are doing most of the work themselves, you need to be that much better when they show up.
Yeah.
And they're showing up online. They're showing up at your store. They're showing up on third-party sites. You need to be that much better.
Yeah.
You can't be lazy.
Text,
you can't be lazy.
No.
Yeah, you can't get away with being lazy.
Michael, any last thoughts?
I love Amsterdam. Yeah. And I want to be there again. And I want to take my wife. No, you know what? The last thoughts are really that. I believe that there is a storm brewing. And the name of the game today, despite how fast we believe technology is moving, is that you must build relationships of trust with your customers, or you will not survive. Everybody, you see it all the time. I see it all the time. You go on Facebook and there's some poor car dealer that says, technology is moving so fast. We're going to be out of 10 years and we're going to be out of business because of self-driving cars. And you know what I say? Buddy, self-driving cars are the least of your worries.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest part of your worry is, you're right. In 10 years, you will be out of business if that's your attitude.
Yeah.
But if you realize that despite how fast technology appears to be moving, that customers still want one thing: information so that they feel confident and somebody they can trust. If you focus on those things, and you look at your business through that lens of, okay, how do we help people feel more trust in us, and are we presenting enough information to make them feel confident? If you look at your business through that, those filters, just watch what you're going to uncover to make your business stronger.
Michael, on that nutshell, I want to thank you about this interview in the DCDW podcast. Thank you for your inspiration to do this podcast at the first place. I'm very appreciated your friendship and our talks about anything. And what we say in the pre-conversation we had, hopefully we can make something together on the NEDA in Vegas to do something with our Dutch dealers as well.
I would love it. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, Michael.
Bedankt voor het luisteren naar Digital Car Dealer Workshop, de podcast. Volgende week is er weer een nieuwe uitzending met wederom een interessante gast en boeiende onderwerpen. Kijk voor meer informatie en de notes van deze uitzending op www.dcdw.nl/podcast. En wilt u meer weten over DCDW? Kijkt u dan op dcdw.nl. De DCDW-podcast wordt mede mogelijk gemaakt door nieuweautokopen.nl. Marktplaats, Marble, Autodata Nederland, You Name It en Bovee mij.